The Marshall JVM 410H. What a beast of an amplifier. This is the Marshall with all the knobs, and this is the Marshall with the most amount of gain. So this amp is actually perfect for rock and metal, but it's still very versatile. So this is the flagship, I guess, by Marshall amplifiers. However, what's interesting to me is the fact that this amplifier is more affordable than a JCM 800 or a Plexi, for example. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, before we get into some of the details and talk a little bit about this amplifier, let's take a listen to how this amplifier sounds for a high gain rock and metal setting with the OD1 channel on the red mode, so that's a nice amount of gain, through the ENGL XXL 4x12 cabinet, mic'd up with the single SM57. Let's take a listen. Alright, that was great. It had that Marshall crang going on and that sort of gnarly bite in the mids that you associate with Marshall amplifiers, of course. But as opposed to a JCM 800 or a Plexi, this amp has so much gain on tap. It's unreal. So that was my Gibson Les Paul Custom on the bridge pickup, straight into the amplifier and straight into the cabinet. And yeah, like I said, this is probably the ultimate Marshall high gain amplifier. I mean, they also make the DSL series and those also have plenty of gain on tap. But in terms of the character, those are more fat and loose sounding in the low end, whereas the high gain channels on this amplifier are very tight and ferocious. So let's talk a little bit about all the channels and what this amp actually does. So you've got 4 channels. You got a clean channel, the crunch channel, the OD1, and the OD2 channel. And each of the 4 channels has 3 modes, so green, orange, and red. So it kind of has 12 channels in total, which is absolutely nuts. The clean channel starts off clean with a very nice clean. The orange and red mode, they introduce a little bit of crunch and drive, so those are more vintage overdrive tones, I guess you could say. And then the crunch channel has 3 flavors of crunch. So that's a lot of crunch. Of course, Marshall is all about the crunch, so that's a really nice channel to have if you're really into those more classic Marshall tones. So those channels alone can cover a lot of ground for the more classic players, okay? But the OD1 and OD2 channels, those are great for the modern players. So OD1 in general sounds a bit more thick than the OD2 channel. OD2 channel is more aggressive, has more bite, and is kind of more scooped. But the OD1 channel, which is my favorite channel of this amplifier, you also heard it just now, sounds a bit more thick with a bit more body in the mids, but still plenty of bite and plenty of clarity. So the green modes on these channels do a nice crunch. The orange mode gives you a very nice high gain tone already with plenty of gain on tap. And then the red modes add even more gain and even more aggression. So even with the red modes, I don't have to put the gain slightly over 9 o'clock. That's already more than enough. Now this amp also has reverb available for the 4 channels, which you can individually control with the reverb levels over here. Of course, you have effects loops and all that stuff. And a foot switch that lets you select either the channel or the mode. So that's awesome. So yeah, if you're looking for a Marshall that does it all, basically, clean, crunch, high gain, and everything in between, and various flavors of that, I can highly recommend this amplifier. This is the 4-channel version, the 100-watt version. You also have the 210H, which is also 100 watts, but only has 2 channels. But that's still plenty of tones to choose from. And then you also have the 205H, which is the 50-watt version of that. So also the 2 channels. But yeah, again, great amplifiers, very versatile. And if you want to get one Marshall for metal, this is probably the best option. But that doesn't mean that you can't get great metal tones out of other Marshall amplifiers. I mean, a JCM 800 would work well for that if you add a boost up front. And the DSL series are great as well. But as I mentioned, you might need a boost up front to tighten the tone up, because as I said, those are more round and loose sounding in general. But yeah, I really like this thing, and I hope you thought it sounded great through the cabinet. I thought it sounded really nice with a lot of growl, because this cabinet has so much character. It really transforms all my amplifiers into metal roaring beasts, which I absolutely love, to be honest. But of course, what I wanted to do is bring this amp over into the digital realm. So I captured this amplifier with my quad Cortex by Neural DSP. And of course, I made a capture pack based on this amplifier, which you can check out at the link below at my Ko-Fi web store, where I also sell other quad Cortex capture packs. And it's just a lot of fun to have the sound of this amplifier into my little quad Cortex. And what I did is basically I captured all of the channels and all of the modes in there with the sweet spot settings. And I captured them through the XXL cabinet with the SM57, and then also direct with a load box. So that's 24 captures in total. But let's go ahead and take a listen to how some of those captures turned out. Check it out. Awesome, that sounded great. That sounded just like the intro track, which was the real amplifier through the real cabinet. So I definitely managed, or the quad Cortex definitely managed to capture the character of this amplifier. I was really impressed. So again, 12 captures through the ENGL cabinet. And what I basically did was I went through all the channels and modes, and I captured one sound for each channel. So a sweet spot. And then I put that into one preset. So 12 captures into one preset. And then you can switch through the scenes and check out some of the tones that I highlighted in there. And I think you'll really enjoy these tones if you're looking for a very versatile Marshall, or if you're looking for like the Marshall sound that's ultimate for metal with the two OD channels, the two flavors of high gain. A little bit more of a thicker tone with OD1 and a more aggressive and gnarly tone with OD2. And then I did the exact same thing for the direct setup, which you can use with IRs or the stock cabinets. So I also put them into one preset with a stock cabinet, but I made all the direct captures with an Ownhammer IR in mind, which is the 412 Rect Essentials, which is based on a 4x12 MESA Boogie Rectifier cabinet. So I tuned the sounds to that cabinet basically. So just to give you an idea of how versatile this pack is and what sort of sounds are included, I'll grab a guitar, my ESP LTD Phoenix 1000 Deluxe, the white one with the Duncans in it. I'll play some chords and some very simple riffs so you guys can hear what sort of tones are on offer. that sounded great. So there's plenty of tones in there and even more than I showcased there. So if you're interested in purchasing that pack at my web store, go check it out right now. And of course, let me know what you think. So that's the Marshall JVM 410H. I did a bunch of videos with this amplifier on the channel already. I think I did one video where I tried all the modes and all the channels out. So check it out if you're interested to learn more about this amplifier. And yeah, I hope this thing doesn't get discontinued anytime soon because it's an essential Marshall amp for high gain tones. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it useful. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like and subscribe down below, as that really helps the channel out. And of course, you can follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook, Instagram, and my Ko-Fi web store. So go there to stay up to date on all my new pack releases and stuff. What I basically do is when I finish a pack, I put it on there and do a soft launch so you guys can check it out. And then later I release a video like this one where we sort of check it out and also take a look at the amplifier and stuff. All right, guys, hope to see you soon. Cheers.